on the mission. Family on the mission. We on the mission. Family on the mission. Yo, what's up? This your boy Monty G, man, back at it again on the Fan Mission Podcast. And today, ladies, this for y'all right here, man. So man, I got a special guest. Let me go ahead and let her in the party and let her introduce herself and tell her where you from. Introduce yourself and tell us where you from.
Hey everybody, I'm Khalia. I'm from Chicago, off the south side. I'm currently in Iowa right now, Clinton, Iowa to be exact. So,
Okay. Clinton, Iowa. Shout out to Clinton, Iowa.
man, small little town, but it do what it need to do.
Okay. Small town, but doing big things, huh?
Absolutely.
So, congratulations on your beauty salon. You opened up your beauty salon. That's what's up, man.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. So today we're gonna be talking about hair products and what else? What else you want to talk to the people about?
I mean, just hair products was good for your hair, our hair as a people. Of course, we got a lot of mixing going on. So mixed race hair, the care of it, and just, doing whatever it is you want to do, whether it be, I was in nursing school. I got 2.5 semesters and I'll be a registered nurse, but now I got a beauty supply store and I'm doing hair. So, just a broad thing of everything, including hair, and just, doing what make you happy.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you said something about that because you know, for the people that don't know, I have mixed kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of hard for them to get their hair done. Like they don't know which way they want to go. You know what I'm saying? So, what will be some good information for kids that's out here that's mixed, but they want their hair done, but they don't feel like they white and they don't feel like they black.
As they say, I'm not black enough for the black kids and not white enough for the white kids.
Yeah, and it's a gray area, and it's hard for them growing up, especially trying to maintain their hair.
Yeah, I mean, you have to find somebody who specializes. Well, when they're kids, the parents have to find somebody to specialize in their hair and caring for their hair. You can't really go, the 2.5 weeks how we go without washing it, but you can't wash it every day. You know how, the white side of the family washes it because then it's going to be too dry. So you just have to find somebody that specializes in their hair, who is knowledgeable in the products that they use. And it'll get easier. But with mixed kids, their hair changes. That's another thing. It changes like crazy. So from the ages 2 to 4, it could be nice, soft, silky, and curly. 5 to 7, 5 to 9, it get real thick and unruly. And then after that, it's just like you don't even know.
Yeah, they want my daughter. She both of my daughters. You know what I'm saying? They be like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do with my hair. I don't know I'm like, golly. I'm like, man. Sometimes I wish I was around my people so y'all could, tap in. But
Yeah.
they, what I'm saying, we're in a whole nother town and they don't know which way to go. So, if a mixed kid came to your shop and just said, I don't know what I want to do with my hair, what would be the first thing you would do?
First thing I'm asking is, what do they like to wear? Whether it's braids. And if they say they like to wear braids, okay, do you like to wear single braids? Do you like to wear French braids? Do you like to keep your hair in a ponytail? Do you like to keep it down? Do you like what do you like to do to your hair? So when I figure out what you like to do to your hair, okay, next thing is, what are you using in your hair product wise? And the number one product I recommend for all my mixed clients, and it's just a beautiful product, it's called Hawaiian Silky. Beautiful product. I mean, it is just, I've had so many like amazing reviews with that, where I've had people come in there like, my daughter's mixed and I can't figure out what to do with her hair, and it just be a lot. And that's what I recommend is Hawaiian Silky. And I have from my business page, I have people who left comments and was like, thank you so much. Like, it makes it so much easier to deal with her hair. And it's a beautiful thing. Hawaiian Silky is definitely the number one product I would recommend for anybody mixed that's like struggling with dryness, or it's a 14 in one is what it is. It's a
Mm.
detangler, it's a moisturizer. Um, and it's just a really good product.
Oh, that's what's up. All right, so let's talk about your business, man. So, I know a while back you was talking about open up a business, and I'm like,
Mhm.
man, that's a good idea, man. And I see you got it up and running. And how is it going so far?
I mean, it's going good. I will say, with anything, it's a struggle in the beginning. But I will say it's going really good, and it's 100% my money. I did this with no loans, no grants, like just working like crazy, saving my money and putting my money where I wanted it to go. So it's
Okay.
going good.
Okay, so what even gave you so the people that's out there like, man, I've been doing this for a while and I've been talking about doing the shop and what kind of advice you would tell them just to the first step to even the first step was thinking about you had a shop, but what would be the second step in saving money?
I mean, you just really have to budget,
Hmm.
budget, and budget some more because just try you can't like, okay, I'm gonna pay my bills at home, but then I'm gonna go take this trip to Atlanta and then I'm gonna do this. And I mean, you're gonna have to budget. Me getting locks in my hair, that was a big part of my budget. Even though I did my own hair, I spent a lot of money on wigs and braiding hair and just to manage my hair. But locking my hair gave me more of a freedom with my hair. So I get my hair done maybe every 4 to 8 weeks. Um,
Mm,
and that's about maybe $85 every 8 weeks. I get my hair done, and that's a wash, a style, and a twist. It's just really budgeting. You got to make sure, especially if you're doing it with no loans, no grants, you got to make sure your money is where it's going. And, man, I slighted myself a lot. Like I made sure the kids had what they needed and they were straight clothes, shoes, and everything else in between, got their sports fees and everything together. And I just thugged it out. I was like, okay, I got clothes, I got everything I need. I'm gonna thug it out. And that's really what you got to do.
okay. I like what you said. You made sure the kids were straight. You look pretty young. So how old was you when you first had your first kid?
17. I was 17, senior year of high school. I graduated high school June 10th of 2012, and I had my son April 22nd of 2012. I had a C-section, missed the last 2 months of school. But I mean, it was maybe the day after my C-section. I was still in the hospital and I was writing a 5-page English paper. I had my mama
Mm,
bring my laptop to the hospital. I'm like, I got to get this paper done. I got to graduate.
mm,
So he was at my graduation. I graduated on time, top 50 kids in my class, and I just made sure that was 100% right. I mean, I took my high school finals at school in class while breastfeeding,
mm.
so that was important for me.
So for the young kids, that do you feel like you had well at the time, but do you feel like you had your kid too early, or do you feel like it was a blessing?
My son was definitely a blessing and a savior because my plans after high school was, let's just say, not so holy.
Mm,
And so he came when he was supposed to come, and he definitely did what he was supposed to do. As the young kids say, he gave what it was supposed to give. Like he put his mama together.
mm,
He had me where I needed to be and got me on track to what I needed to do.
that's what's up. So and I tell people this. I had to realize this. Like sometimes the things we don't want or the things we don't want to do can turn out to be a blessing.
Yeah,
So sometimes we be like, man, we had a kid at a young age who I wasn't ready, but that's the reason you at where you at right now.
100%.
So I tell people that, like, man, I tell people when they say, "Oh, my father wasn't in my life," this and that, and I'm like, man, that might have been a blessing that he wasn't in your life.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like it could have been different. Like we don't know, but we always talk about the things that we wish we would have had and thought it would have made us better. So So on that note, so what even got you doing hair? Who inspired you?
My mom inspired me to do hair because I hated how she did my hair. I hated how she did my hair. She would do me that you know that hairstyle from like the late 90s, the early 2000s, the braided bob with oh my God, I hated it. So it's like I was like, oh, I want my hair like this, I want my hair like that. And my mom would say, well, if you want your hair like that, you need to do it yourself. And I'm like, you know what? You right, and I'm gonna do it. And that's pretty much what started me to want to do hair. And I just kept doing it, kept practicing, and I just over the years got better at it.
Oh, okay, okay. So, and who's you practicing on?
Everybody, my mom, my sister, my great grandmother when she was here, um, anybody that let me put my hands in their head, you know, cousins, um, just anybody that'll let me do it, that's how I would get my practice in.
Oh yeah, but you know what they say about practice? Practice make
Perfect, 100%.
no hell no.
Yes, yes.
Practice make improvement.
My improvement, I didn't perfected some of my crafts here with
Hey,
the braids.
but see that's what I'm saying. Like people put this thought pattern in your head. Like I'm gonna tell you about the practice, right? The practice
Mhm.
make improvement, meaning I get better at time.
Right,
Ain't nothing in this world perfect, right?
hundred
But
percent.
kids need to understand that they be like, man, I don't know what I like. I hear kids, I don't know what I want to do. I don't know what I want to do. But I say, you want to do this? I don't want to do that. Well, you know what? You ain't gonna know what you really love doing until you do something and you say, I kind of like this.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
some people don't like McDonald's and some people like Burger King. How would you know that you like over which one? Because you
Yeah.
tried both of them.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? So yeah, you sometimes you got to get out your comfort zone and try something. And sometimes somebody can be being sarcastic, saying being sarcastic and be like, "Oh yeah, if you want your hair like this, you need to do it yourself." And you be like, sometimes you like you say you can take it as, "Damn, maybe I need to do it myself." You know
Right.
what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And some people just be like, "Man, you just talking shit." You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's how we grow. Sometimes we say things and we don't even know that we putting some good information out there. Some good information out there. One time I told my son, I say, man, bro, you need to read some books. You need to do this. You be on them video games. I'm like, man, you been on video games so much, bro. You can listen to audiobooks while you're doing it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever,
Mhm.
I don't care. So then I was like, damn, I could check out some audiobooks when I'm at work. You know what I'm saying? So I
Yeah.
started checking out audiobooks, and then shit, I done went through a gang of books, more books than I ever read in my life. And I said, God damn. So sometimes you can say some shit and just good information. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it is.
So yeah, so man, what's the name of your store and how can people get booked with you?
It's
Get in touch.
called Kay's Hair and Beauty. I'm on Google, Facebook, um, and that's the easiest way to reach out to me through Google or Facebook. I'm on both of those. I have a Shopify store to where if you're not located in Clinton, any item that I sell in the store, because I do have outfits, clothing items, bundles, wigs, hair products. It could ship wherever. So anywhere you type in K's Hair and Beauty, you can find me 100%.
Okay, K's Hair and Beauty. So
Yeah.
where you get the name from?
So my sister, her middle name is K, but it's spelled with an E. But because both of our names start with the K, and I mean, she had the vision of the beauty supply store, and I had the means behind it. So that was kind of my way of throwing her in there, was like, because she put the idea out there, like,
Mm,
hey, we don't have a beauty supply store here. Because I was going all the way to Chicago to get everything I needed to do hair. And I mean, I'm spending $200-300 at the beauty supply store in Chicago to bring everything I need back here. And or people were driving out to Davenport, which is like an hour away or so, Moline, hour away, just to get a pack of rubber bands, some hair beads,
Mm,
simple stuff that you should not have to drive an hour away to get. And
mm,
yeah, we had a Sally's here, but Sally's does not carry what we need. Sally's is more so for the salons. They have the big things of dye and boosters, and they don't have, oh, you need to do your baby hair for picture day and just last minute, they just gave you the form. You can't run to, like in Chicago, we had Giants. You can't run to Roseland and go get what you need last minute. So my sister actually put the idea out there. I had the means for it, and all I did was take the E off the end and did KAY for the both of us, and KAY''S hair and
mm.
beauty.
Hey, hey, man, I like what y'all got going on, man. That's what I'm talking about. That's the family on the mission. Your sister had the vision, and you took off with it. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying? That's a family on the mission. That's a lot of families don't get together with ideas and create and come up with. That's how you make money off ideas. People think you make money just from working. Ain't nothing wrong with working a job,
right.
but when you after your job, what do you do? That's what counts after the job.
Mm-hmm.
That's what really counts is them 2-3 hours that you got freed up to come up with ideas that
Yep.
you can come up with a shop. You say, man, what do we need? As people, what do we need? As a
Yeah.
family, what do we need? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you say, man, I gotta hit the hey, I gotta hit the
Yeah.
praise button on that one. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? I like that. So is your sister working with you in the shop?
No, my sister is working at Walmart. That's what she's doing. But I'm actually gonna, because she likes to do makeup and stuff like that. So I'm actually, once the store is up and running and bringing in the money that I wanted to, I'm actually gonna send her to cosmetology school.
Mm,
So that, because I'm licensed in natural hair braiding. Can I do cuts, colors, dyes, and things like that? Yes, but that's not what I'm licensed for. I do not have a cosmetology license. I have a natural hair license.
mm,
So I'm going to send my sister to cosmetology school and get her in here to do everything that I'm not licensed for.
mm.
So,
We on the mission.
man,
Family on the mission.
100%.
Hey. And that's another thing I be trying to tell people that, we have to learn how to do things that we're gonna get paid for. Like, like you say with your hair, like you doing your hair, like man, to me, like I ain't got no hair, but obviously I got kids, you know what I'm saying, and they be like, I want to get my hair done, I want to do this, and I'm like, man, I don't even know where to get hair done. I mean, I know my sister, I know, you know what I'm saying, but now I
Yeah.
ain't around my sister. I'm like, man, I don't know where they gonna get done with hair. I don't know where y'all get y'all stuff done. I don't mess around like that. So you know what I'm saying, but it is frustrating though. So man, shout out to y'all for man even thinking about the people, man. That's what's up. So
Yeah, because I mean, Clinton is fairly small. Once upon a time it was a predominantly white town. But there's a nice amount of black people here now, mixed people, mixed kids, and a lot of the salons that are here are more so like the people that's been here 30 years, 40 years. And you got the younger kids coming up and it's prom and they want to do frontals and closures and wigs, and they like, we don't even know what that is. They're used to the typical wash, cut, color, curl, perm, dye, you know. And I had a few of the salon owners here reach out to me like, hey, do you know what a frontal is? Do you know how to install a lace wig? Can you show me? Can you teach me? And a lot of them are like, I'll pay you for your time. And it's more just being, because where my store is located is called the business district,
mm,
and it's a street full of businesses. I mean, from bars to a family deli that's been here for 30 plus years to an art studio, and it's just all type of businesses here. So it's just an honor just that they even asked me to teach them stuff like that. So, you know.
Yeah, and it's good to teach people and inspire people. That's what I be trying to tell my kids all the time. Like, we have to learn how to do something and teach and inspire other people, and that's how we're gonna keep it in the family and we'd be on the mission. You dig? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, so I got a question, man, that I always ask people, man. And the question go like, at the age you at right now, if you can talk to your 16-year-old self, what would you tell her?
Focus, focus, and focus. Cause 16-year-old me had no focus whatsoever. It was just a fly by day type of thing. Like I'm gonna wake up and whatever happened, happened. I ain't had no plan, no nothing. It's just like I'm gonna get up, go to school. Whatever happens, happens.
You know what? That's a good answer, but I was thinking about this a minute ago, and you just brought up to my. We never went to school for focusing. Motherfuckers always used to tell us like, when you go to school, you better focus on them grades. You better focus on this. But we never had a focus class. So how can you, if you don't even know how to focus, how are you gonna know how to focus because somebody told you to?
Exactly. And that's the thing, because you didn't know how to do so. So it's like knowing what I know now, if I could just go back and be like, focus, and I'm gonna teach you how, but you gotta listen to me. But it's because people would tell us to focus, but they didn't teach us how to focus. It's just like it was one of those do as I say, not as I do, and it's like, but if you're not showing me how to focus, how you expect me to do it? You come home to mama and she fresh off work, cooking, cleaning, trying to help you with your heart. She didn't even have no focus, but she wants you to go and focus. So I think it's just a lot
Right.
of that they wanted us to do something that they couldn't even do themselves.
Talk that talk. That's what I'm talking about. So like you said, if you knew what you know now, how would you tell yourself to focus? How you tell your kids to focus? How would you explain that to them?
Well, you know what, with my kids actually teach me how to focus, which is, they are now 10 and 3. My 3-year old, when she gets overly frustrated, she will literally sit there, she'll sit down, cross her legs, and she'll start to do breathing exercises at
Mm,
3, you know. And I mean, she does it when she's frustrated. She does it even when she's in trouble, trying to get out of trouble. But still, she'll sit there and just fold her legs, sit Indian style, and she'll just start her breathing exercises, you know
damn, that's dope.
and I mean, she's 3 years old, and I've never done it. And I was like, okay. My 10-year old, he just turned 10, but he's like, Mom, why don't you try yoga? And stuff like that. He does taekwondo. So
Mm.
he is, really focused at what it is that he's doing. And, it's crazy because these are my kids. I'm the parent, but yet they teach me new things every day. My 3-year old came home and taught me sign language.
Mm.
Sign language that her daycare taught her at 1.5, constantly learning from my kids. And I think a big part of that is, when you have that open line of communication with your kids, it just makes everything all the better. Because we're raised as, don't speak unless spoken to, you to be seen, not heard. And I've had people tell me like, oh, your kids, they got smart mouth or they talk back. No, they don't. My kids are very respectful, but if something is uncomfortable or they don't understand or something is bothering them, they will say like, I don't get this. Like, why is this going on? And that's how I raise my kids, because when something is really going on, then I want them to, be like, hey, mom, this ain't right. This happened.
You,
So.
yeah, you know what? That is crazy. Like, um, I don't know what I read. It was this dude, right? He was a millionaire. He's like, and he was making like $3 million a year, right?
Mhm.
And I was checking. I was a book I read or something. And he was saying like, you know what? I'm gonna learn another language so I can make another million this year. Now, if we was taught that every language that we learn we can make $1 million. If we taught our kids that, man, we'd be well off. And people
Very
don't
well.
understand that. Like, you know, some people speak English and don't even know how to speak proper English.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so if you're gonna be using this language, I think you should master it. And did nobody tell us about mastering the language? We just thought we knew what we was doing. You know what I'm saying? Because we can ask for something or tell somebody something. You know what I'm saying? But if we get in an uncomfortable situation where everybody talking using these big words and we don't understand it, we use the fight and flight. We're gonna either fight
Mm-hmm.
or run from it. You know what I'm saying? But if me and you was trying to get a job, just say I'm in Florida, Orlando, so it's a lot of Latinos and everything. So around here, like, and I know how to speak Spanish, and you don't. Who you think gonna get the job?
100%. Yeah.
You see
You'll
what I'm
definitely
saying?
get the job. Yep. And that's why I want to keep my daughter. She's 3 and can do sign. And I mean, it was an issue at first because when they taught her sign language, she stopped talking completely. She wouldn't talk. And so we put her in speech therapy, and her English is getting really good. But like I told the daycare was like, well, do you want us to stop signing? And I'm like, no, please keep signing with her. Please continue to teach her sign language, because do you know how much people who literally for inaugurations, press conference, who sit there and sign, those people make more than RNs. They
Mm,
make so much money to know sign language. And literally they travel the world. They go through different like, just it was a lady that did sign language for when Obama was campaigning before he won his first presidency. The lady traveled everywhere with the Obamas, made so much money because she knew sign language. Didn't have to speak a word, didn't have to shuck and jab, she didn't have to do nothing but literally do what she learned and do what she mastered, and made so much money.
and see, that's what I be talking about. Like, you say, "Oh man, my daughter ain't talking." No, she is talking. She just ain't using her words
Mm-hmm.
because sometimes, like blind people, they if you give them their sight back, bro, they'll be like, "I'd rather be blind." The way the world crazy, what I'm seeing right now, I'd rather be blind.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes being blind, not talking, like it's a blessing. Like, you might look at it like, man, my daughter ain't talking in time. What's going on? She learning her brain operating on a whole nother way than yours.
Mm-hmm.
She teaching you something that you ain't even know. And she like, I can talk. I just really talk like this. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
think that's pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? I can see a bright future for her right now. Yeah.
I'm actually in the process of starting a business for her in the midst of the beauty supply store, because
Mm.
her name is Rainbow. Her is REIGNBAUX. I'm actually starting her a hair bow business. It's called Rainbows and Accessories. And it'll be sold here in the beauty supply store,
Mm.
because a lot of the little girls who are here in Clinton who aren't mixed or aren't black, and their moms don't do the hair beads or things like that. They like hair bows. So, and I tell everybody, I'm not just here to service my kind or, mixed kids or just a black, like this store is literally for the community. So when a lot of them were asking like about hair bows, I'm like, you know what? I'll make them, because they were asking about, do you have unicorn hair bows, sparkles, mermaids? I'm like, you know what? I'll make them. I went on Amazon, they had a whole template with the material, glue, everything I needed. Went on Amazon, got everything I needed, and started practicing on how to make hair bows. Started to perfect that. And it'll be sold here, and it'll be my daughter's business.
Mm.
So, and she's 3, She have her own business at the age of 3.
Man, and see, that's what I'm talking about, man. Family on the mission. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's generational wealth too, because you teaching them young, and then she can teach her kids young, and her kids can teach their kids young, and that's what it's all about. It's like, you know, in a community like where we from. I was thinking about this earlier today, probably. And I was like, man, our biggest setback is the teaching. Like we ain't had nobody was really teaching us. Like people was teaching us in school because they wanted a paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The parents ain't really was taught, so they couldn't teach us. So we was all messed up from the beginning. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
we didn't know. We was just surviving. We was just learning how to survive. So what changed your whole mindset of, you know what? I'm gonna raise my kids different from when I was raised. Or was you raised the same way you raising your kids?
I I raised my kids similar to how I was raised. I do change some things because I was raised by my great grandmother, who passed away in 2016, and I was raised by my mom. And a lot of what made me want to raise my kids different was just seeing the type of things that they went through. Um, my great grandma, I mean, she was my great grandma. She saw my son, which was her great great grandson. I mean, she saw kids past the great greats. She saw 3, 4 generations of grace because we all had kids young. So she was very blessed before she left this earth to see so many generations. But a lot of us were born into, okay, we're born, you go to Big Mama house. That's where everybody went. Everybody was at Big Mama house. So it was, I love my mother dearly and she did an amazing job raising us. But it was like, she worked 2 jobs and went to school. So we saw, as my great grandmother used to say, you see more of her back than anything. And it wasn't that she didn't love us or she neglected us. But then it was like, I saw my mom work so hard and so exhausted, go through so much. Same thing with my grandmother. Saw her go through so much, so exhausted, but yet she like, bring the kids to my house. I'm gonna take the kids. And I was just like, I want to do something different. When I first had my son, it was just like, it wasn't too, because I was still 17. So it was like, I'm gonna finish high school. I'm gonna do something to where I could take care of my kid. My first thing was, I'm not gonna leave him off on Big Mama. That's not what I'm gonna do. So my son went out. If I went outside, he went outside. If my son couldn't go, I wouldn't go. It got to a point where my mom would have to tell me, like, you can leave him here. You go outside. You're like 18. Like, go do something.
Mm,
And I'm like, okay. But I kind of was over, the true friends that I had, which we are still friends to this day, they'll come over and just sit in the house with me and my son. And we'll just find something to do in the house. And as time went on, my mom is almost 60 and she just bought her first house. Like, she's now a homeowner at
mm,
almost 60. And I was just like, I was proud of my mom because she went through a lot just to get there. But it was like, I don't want to be a homeowner, a first time homeowner at 60 or at 50. I want to do it a little younger than that. I don't want to be, working at a McDonald's drive through window because I have to. I don't want to be a CNA at 55 because I need the health insurance. And just because I am a CNA right now, and I've been a CNA for about 9 years, and I went through nursing school, 2.5 more semesters. I'll be a registered nurse. But I see these 60-year-old nurses, 65-year-old CNAs, and it's like, well, I need the health insurance, so I can't quit. I got to work
mm.
so many hours because I need it to survive. And I'm just like, I don't want that for me. I don't want that for my kids. And I just was like, you know what? I got to do something different, which is what prompted me to go to nursing school. But after 9 years in the healthcare field, no matter where you go, facility, hospital, agency, you run into the same thing over and over and over again because it's the same field, you know? And I was like, I got to do something different. Got to do something different. And that's when we started having meetings, family meetings, and we started coming up with ideas on businesses. And that's when my sister threw out the beauty supply store because we didn't have one here. And then the rest just went from there.
Okay, okay. Man, it was some things I wanted to tap on. What you were saying was, you know, I was talking about this on another podcast, and do you know how kids spell love?
Mm-mm. Yeah, I'm a little confused on that one.
Yeah, like Time,
Yeah.
right? Spending time. because kids don't understand. Like you said, your mother was like, man, you get see your mama back, and kids don't understand. Like when you working and you trying to, you sacrifice so many things to do for the kids, but they don't see that. Only thing they see is you don't spend time with us. So, I asked a person, you know, is time, is time more valuable than money? And then a kid's point of view, of course, we'd be like, man, we want the money, we want the money. But no, it's really the time. Because if I ask you, if I gave you $1 million, how would you feel? How would you feel about it? No, you'd be like,
Over the moon.
right. So if I gave you $10 million, how would you feel?
Somebody had to come pick me up off the floor.
You see what I'm saying? So, but what if I said, I'm gonna give you this $10 million and you can't wake up tomorrow?
Man, it's not even worth it because it's
It's,
what I'm gonna do with it.
you see what I'm saying?
You
So
can't
it's
do
like,
it.
what you gonna do with your time? It's like, like the kids, like, man, we gotta think like kids. We gotta think like kids. We gotta think about what we doing with our time. We gotta think like kids, always asking questions. Why is this? Why is that? Because when we was kids, it was called curiosity kills the cat. Like,
Mhm.
you kept being curious, like, mama, how you did? Your mama killed the cat with the shut the fuck up and stop asking me all these questions and quit asking all these questions. So you grew up and you never asked questions, and that shit it follows you until you grown. And now when you go to job interviews or anything, you scared to ask questions. And then they turn out to be the people that say, yeah, I want a hamburger with no lettuce, no onions. And they put lettuce and extra onions on your shit. And you like,
And you
I'm just
just pick it
I'm
off
just
instead of
I'm
saying
just gonna I'm just
anything.
gonna I'm just gonna pick it off. I ain't gonna tell them they fucked up. I'm just gonna
Mhm.
pick it off. Cause last time I told my mama I don't want that, and I got slapped in the head, and I'm cool now. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah, no,
crazy,
you're
man.
100% right because one thing that really shaped how I did stuff with my son growing up, one thing I always remember, my mom never went on field trips with me. Broke my heart. Never went on a field trip. And I used to always see people with their parents on field trips. And my mom would make sure she gave me money for the field trip. I had a lunch and that, but she never came on a field trip. And every field trip that my son had, I was there. I don't care if I had to call off. I got a no call, no show. I got a point. I wouldn't care if they told me they was gonna fire me. If I couldn't go, my sister went. My somebody went. Somebody was there for him on that field trip because I remember how I felt
Mm.
not having nobody on a field trip. So that's 100% true. That time, and you think about stuff like that, and it wasn't. And I knew what my mom was doing. She was at work. It was four of us. And she had to support us, but it was like I didn't care. I wanted you at that field trip. Like you can't put in PTO, you can't find somebody else to cover. So, and I made sure I went on every field trip that my son had because I knew how that made me feel. So that's right. You are 100% right about that.
Yeah, like, a lot of people be like, I work, I do this for my kids, I do this for my kids. I wish I would. I'm like, man, listen. Some people do all that with their kids and don't even know if their kids right-handed or left-handed.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, we almost at 40 minutes. So I got to get down to the question I asked. You believe in God, right?
100%.
What did what is a story that happened in your life and you said, yeah, man, God had my back, man. You know.
Actually, it was recent. It was
Mm.
actually pretty recent. I went into this beauty supply store in a partnership with a really good friend of mine. And after a while, my friend wanted out. My friend put well into 6,500 into the store. And I mean that's half of. So he put well into 6,500 into the store. He asked me for $1,700 just to walk away. That's it. That's all he wanted was $1,700 to walk away. And I gave it to him. It was around tax time. I was like, that's fine. I mean, considering what he put into it, gave it to him. I'm like, okay. And then That's when my job was like, well, Khalia, we kind of don't have the hours for you.
Mm.
And I'm like, wait, what? Because my status at work is PRN, which means it's a as needed type of thing. I pick up hours if they have them. If they don't, I'm kind of SOL. And I was just like, wait, what? And I'm like, I got home bills. I now have store bills that I take care of by myself now. I'm not going half with anybody anymore. And I was just like, okay, I'm like, some gonna have to give. I wasn't getting any hair appointments. Like it just seemed like everything just stopped. And I called my best friend and I was bawling on the phone. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm like, the kids needed shoes. My son needed some pants because he just had a growth spurt out of nowhere. I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm like, I just feel like, I feel like I'm drowning. And she said, Khalia, if this was not meant for you, you wouldn't have it.
Mm.
She said, if it was not meant for you to have this beauty supply store, you wouldn't have it. If it was not meant for you to be in the house that you're in, you wouldn't have it.
Mm.
Because prior to we moved into our house December 1st, we moved out of our old place October of last year, October 1st, and we were supposed to move into another house with the same landlord. Come to find out, the house hadn't even been cleared by the city. He
Mm.
moved us out to move somebody else in. And had me and my kids just out. We stayed with my sister, we stayed with my friend, we stayed with another friend. We was just kind of all over the place, because I didn't want to really impose on my sister, didn't really want to impose on one friend because I got two kids, and I got a small one at that who, is running around and everything. And we talking about people who don't have kids. And it was like then all of our stuff was in the house that hadn't been cleared by the city. That got broken into. They stole all my purses, my daughter's shoes, stuff that I'm still coming across. Like I thought I had, and it got stolen last year. And then met this lady out here. She was a landlord, and I went to go to her office. I'm like, do you have anything? I have Section 8. And she was like, I really don't have anything right now. And then come to find it, she was like, you know what? She was like, I have something. Um, she was like, but it's getting cleaned out. And I told her, I'm like, me and my kids just need somewhere to stay. I'll help clean out the property, because it was just that urgent. And after we moved in, and she told me about the people who previously had stayed there, they were Black, destroyed the place. I mean, 100 BB holes in the wall, pulled down light fixtures, snatched out a wall mount because they were evicted. And here I am, young, Black, with two kids. And she like, you know what? I'ma do it. I didn't have the money to move. I didn't have the money to pay the rent. I didn't have the money to do anything. But she let me and my kids move in. She gave me the website to apply for rental assistance and everything.
Mm.
And she just like trusted the process behind it. And she was like, just apply for the rental assistance. She was like, they'll help you and everything. And they paid for December, January, and February rent of mine.
Mm.
Helped with my utilities for all 3 months. It just was like a blessing. And then that's when everything happened with my friend wanting to walk away. And then it was like my job, like, hey, we don't have no hours. And I'm like, God, I can't do this. I'm like, I just can't do this. And then my landlords for the store, I let them know, like, now it's only me. I no longer have a partner and everything. And they were like, oh, well, let us know if you need help with anything. If you need any time, you could give us half in the beginning of the month, half of the rent at the end of the month.
Mm.
They were just like, they're a beautiful couple. And they were like, if you need anything, let us know. They asked me for a flyer, business card for the store. They posted it at their job. They posted on Facebook. They gave the information to their daughters for them to post. And I mean, I'm just like, you know what? Is meant, God ain't gonna give you nothing that you ain't supposed to have. Like this is meant for
Mm.
me. And I
Mm.
just was like, you know what? This is it, and I just been full force ever since.
Mm. Let me give God the glory.
All of her.
Hey. So, um, so anybody that's young, like 17, finna have a kid, like what encouraging words or what kind of advice you can give to a young lady like that?
Keep going and don't worry about your friends, because your friends, your actual friends, them be the ones that go through your pregnancy with you. They go through everything with you, you know. My friends actually went through everything with me. I mean, we still hung out in high school while I was pregnant. They came to the house when I got home. Like I said, I had a C-section, first kid, and that was a major surgery, you know. My friends literally like came over after school, and they would help me, like, oh, you want us to change him? Do you want us to feed him? I mean, none of us had kids yet, except one of my friends. One of my friends had a kid already, and so she knew what she was doing. But my other friends, they hadn't had kids yet, so it was a learning thing for all of us. But they were like, you're our friend, you're our sister, we're not gonna just leave you, and that's what I would say. Don't worry about your friends not calling or your friends not coming over, because then worry about the people that's there for you.
Mm,
And just don't give up. Don't worry about, because your life don't stop. Your life only get greater, and you
mm,
learn different things. You certain things don't even excite you no more. It's like all your friends like, oh, we finna go do this, and you like, yeah, no, thank you. You know,
mm,
so just don't give up and keep going. Just definitely keep going.
mm, mm. So, what is something that? Oh, matter of fact, it's another thing I want to touch on. Do you know what parents' jobs is to kids?
I don't know. My kids think I'm a bank. So, their favorite store is Walmart. So I think with me, they'd be like, can we go to Walmart today?
Oh yeah, but the parents, and I heard this and I was like, damn, that's dope. The parents, our whole thing is to teach our kids how to survive without us.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you think like, damn, what you mean? Teach them how to survive? Teach them how to cook, clean, wash clothes, wash dishes, do like all the stuff that they rely on us to do. At a certain age, they should learn how to do it. So if they lean on us all the time, if we ain't there, they gonna fall.
Hmm.
And you don't want your kids to be in a messed up situation like that.
No, 100.
So
I actually went through somebody that was pursuing me. Long story short, he was pursuing me, and we were actually on the phone. This is a few years ago. Jeremiah is 10 now, but he was about 5 or 6 at the time. And he liked to watch cooking shows. Jeremiah loves to cook. I mean, he could fry some mean chicken at the age of 10.
mm,
And he was always watching Master Chef Junior and stuff like that with my mom and with me. And he asked for a Master Chef Junior cooking set for Christmas one year. He got it. I was on the phone with the young man, and he asked me what I was doing. And I was like, oh, I'm baking cookies with my son. And he was like, what? I'm like, yeah, we baking cookies. He was like fresh out of roll. I'm like, no, like we're making cookies from scratch because my mom is a baker. And he was like, you need to stop doing it because you're going to turn him gay. And I'm like, what? I was like, so I take it you don't cook. He was like, no, I don't know how to cook. What I need to cook for, and that's what I'm gonna have a woman for. I was like, yes, sir, this conversation is over. You
yeah.
know, and I
So
never talked to him again after that because I'm like, that's so ignorant. Like you, sir, will be one of them men who's gonna need a woman to do everything. Like you're not gonna be able to do nothing for yourself.
yeah, and I would ask him like, who do you think when y'all go to Dunkin' Donuts? You think it's all females back there making donuts and cookies and cakes?
Yeah, it just was ridiculous because it was actually a thing. Actually, recently this year, what over the past Christmas, a lot of people was like, "Don't get my son no kitchen set. Get him a grilling set." And I usually don't do the whole Facebook debate thing, but I was like, "Do y'all not understand that the culinary world was male dominated for years? There was no such thing as a woman chef." And these men learn to cook from their mothers, their grandmothers. I mean, Gordon Ramsay, all of them. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you ask them, if you look up YouTube interviews of they will all tell you the women that they learned to cook from. Some of them even their fathers. But I had to say, like, do y'all not understand how male dominated the culinary world is right now? Like, come on now. Michael Jordan
Mm,
got a steakhouse and he don't even cook, but his top chef is a male.
mm.
So yeah, it's just ignorance. Ignorance breeding off of previous ignorance.
Oh man, tell me about it. So you know, in the world is so messed up. It's like boys should do this and girls should do that. So um, I don't even want to ask you that because no. But let me see. Let me see. We had another 10 minutes. So where can people find you at? Like, saying, tell them your website again. You said on Google.
Yep, you could type in Kay's Hair and Beauty on Google. You could type in Kay's Hair and Beauty on Facebook, and it'll pop right up. It's a black background with like a purple, yellowish, pinkish tint logo, and it says KHB, which is Kay's Hair and Beauty. And you can get in touch with me that way. And we offer shipping and not just hair or beauty products. I have clothing, I have lashes, all of that.
Mm. So have you ever thought about not even a beauty school, but like teaching the young youth how to do hair at a young
Actually,
age?
I had a young girl coming here about a week ago. She was 17 and she wanted to learn how to do hair. And her grandmother was raising her and she said, she was like, "Can you teach me how to braid?" She's like, "Cause I got the individual thing going, the plaits." She was like, "But I don't know how to cornrow." And I'm like, "100%, I'll teach you." And her grandmother was like, "Well, just name a price and I'll bring the money, I'll pay in advance." And I was just like, "You don't have to pay me. You
Mm,
don't." I said, "There's no reason to pay me. You don't have to pay me for something. I know this baby can go on YouTube and learn herself, but because she came to me and she wanted to do it hands on, you don't have to pay me."
hmm
You
And
know,
it's crazy because the things you learn at a young age, it'll follow you for the rest of your life. And I said I ain't want to ask you this question, but I'm gonna ask you.
might as well.
Do you feel like it's okay for men to do hair?
100%. Because I mean, do people not understand who do these men here in prison?
Right. And I was gonna tap on that. I was like, and that's crazy because a lot of men do hair. I know that. A lot of men do hair. I got a homie in Minnesota. He did Cardi B hair. And you know what I'm saying? I know people that do hair, you know what I'm saying? And they not all the way, they just like doing hair, you know what I'm saying? Make people feel good. So ain't nothing wrong with that. But I was gonna say that because like you say, the boy shouldn't be cooking, get him out the kitchen, you're gonna turn him into this and do this. And it's like, well, boys shouldn't be doing hair because it's this but guys do hair. That's what they do. They
Okay,
cut
you
hair.
have,
They
especially if you have single fathers out here. I know people think it's not existent, but there are single fathers out here with daughters who do their
hmm
daughter's hair. They have to go somewhere and learn to do hair. And just because you're a man and you do hair, that don't automatically mean you gay or whatever. But some people just are good at it and it's a natural talent, or they had to learn because they have daughters or their wife was in an accident. And it's actually this 80-year-old man, I saw the clip on Facebook, learned how to do makeup because his wife had a stroke. And his wife
mm,
never left the house without her makeup done. So he went to a Mac counter in the department store and they taught him how to do his wife's makeup. So every day he gets up and he does his wife's makeup before they leave the house. And he never lets her go anywhere without her makeup done. And I'm sure that man is the farthest thing from gay, you know.
yeah, and that's what I be trying to tell people. Like sometimes your lesson can be a blessing, and sometimes if you don't understand your blessings, they can go past you. I remember I used to do my grandmother hair, and I used to do finger waves and cut the back of her hair and put little designs, and everybody used to be like, "Oh man, Miss Hogan, your hair looks so nice. Who did your hair?" Like, "Oh, my grandson did." I'm like, "Don't be telling people I did your hair." You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
because I didn't know no better, you know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I do my grandmother hair. Of course I'm gonna do her hair. That's my grandmother. But you ain't finna be having me and all the
But the
girls
whole
coming through.
clientele.
Yeah, all the girls coming to me like, hey, put a heart in the back of my head. And I'm like, I'm doing their hair, I'm cutting their hair. I'm like, don't be telling people I did this. You know what I'm saying? But then
Yeah.
other girls come to do my hair, do my hair. And I'm like, man, and I kind of man fell back from it, like, man, I ain't finna be doing everybody hair like this. I ain't finna be. But that was one of them blessings that I could have hold on to and snatched and ran off with. Like, I'm out here doing hair,
Yeah.
and you get paid off your gift. So sometimes we don't even identify with our gift,
Yeah.
you know, and God to make a way for you, but sometimes you can't be um I don't want to say stupid, but being ignorant about the fact, they say
Definitely.
ignorancy is the most expensive thing in the world, because
Amen.
people think they drinking soda and thinking, it ain't harming them. Like, what I'm saying, but they don't drink no water. But you know, that's being ignorant. Like, you think you're
Thinking,
doing
oh, it's,
something
it's
good.
all fluids, it's
Yeah,
all
it's all
fluids.
it got
Yeah.
water in it. Looking at, you know what I'm saying?
Put ice
So
in it.
yeah, it's ice in it. Yeah. So, but yeah, man. Yeah, man. I appreciate you coming on to the podcast, man.
No
Chopping
problem.
it up, dude.
Anytime.
Is it anybody or anything you want to say? Send a shout out, or anything that you want to say that I didn't ask you.
I mean, just a shout out to my family in general, because without them, this, wouldn't be. So just a shout out to my family in a whole, all my cousins, siblings, parent figures, everybody that had a hand in making Khalia and Kay's hair and beauty what it is today and what it will be in the future. So just 100% shout out, and just to anybody, don't get complacent, don't get stuck. I dropped out of nursing school to do this. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? And people are like, you had 2.5 semesters ago. You could have been making $60 an hour. And yeah, but at what expense to not see my kids? Entry level nurses, they work under a status of seniority. So I would have been working holidays, birthdays, and no. So they can't take schooling from me. I'll go back. I'll get my license, my registered nursing license, just have something to fall back on if I get bored and want to pick up a shift. But just don't get complacent, and truly do what make you happy. Because this, like, literally, I be stressed the hell out sometimes, but it literally makes me happy making other people happy.
hey, and that's what it's all about. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't understand, when you start a business, it takes 3 to 5 years before you start seeing some money rolling in for real, for real.
A
You
hundred
know,
percent.
and so you know, I got another question for you before I let you go.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, I see at least two more locations. I see my daughter's brand going, and I see me starting a business for my son. I just got to really tap in, because he's kind of all over the place right now. He likes this, he likes that. He does all kind of sports, but he's really into soccer. But I definitely see my son having his own business by then too. But definitely a couple more locations, and shoot, 5 years, my daughter will be 9 because she'll be 4 this year. So definitely her brand going global, all kind of bowls. We're gonna do Black History bowls. Every holiday you could think of, there'll be a bow and rainbows and accessories. There'll be a bow for it.
Mm,
So because we did cloth diaper, and I mean she had a diaper for every holiday. I don't care what it was, but that's how her hair bow business gonna be. So
oh, I got an idea for you. The hair bows and sign language, though. So
get that
they got
print.
the hair bows, they got the L, they got the O and sign language. Then put
Yeah,
them in their hair, and they can.
that's dope.
Ooh, that's
That's dope. I
yeah,
like that. I'm gonna
yeah.
have to find some sign language print.
They sure got them.
I'll make sure we send you a honorary bow, so you could put right there.
Yeah, I can kind of tape it right here.
Yeah, get you a little piece of tape and just tape it
Yeah,
right there.
or give me some little Velcro and just stick it on that joint. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, man. So I appreciate you coming on the podcast. You taking time out your busy day, because I know you stay busy. You know what I'm
Man,
saying? And yeah, man. I'm just trying to. This podcast is just really trying to inspire people and let young kids know that, don't get too frustrated and snap out. Like, what I'm saying, be patient. God will make a way for you when you feel like there's no way. He gonna make a way for you. And you a living testimony. You know what I'm saying, you had a kid at a young age, and right now you're already doing your business thing. You didn't, even though you went to school and you said, I'm gonna do this, and you doing something else when you didn't know it was how it was gonna work out. So
Man.
that's truly a blessing. That's truly God. So
Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate you on that, man.
No problem. Anytime. Yeah, they just keep going. Any young person. We are actually living in the age of entrepreneurship. So
Mm,
it's like do your research 100%. You don't always need loans. You don't always, grants are the way to go, but do your research. a
mm,
100% do your research and don't stop. Just
mm.
don't stop.
And that's what's up, man. Well, shit, I appreciate you coming
No
on. I'm gonna go
problem.
ahead and let you do your thing.
All right. See you later.
All right, peace. Hmm. Yeah, what's up? This your boy Monty G, man, and this is the Fan Mission Podcast, and we just had a special guest, man. She was talking about hair and beauty and how she came up and where she at right now. And I appreciate y'all watching. Please share, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more and more and more episodes of the Fan Mission Podcast. Let's go. G Staff. We out.